Today we're going to make a Christmas tree, and this is quilting. If you're a beginner and never done quilting before, this is a good way of having a go. This is a free pattern from the Spuce Craft, and we are going to make this tree. There is a top to that tree, it's just the picture doesn't show it. First of all, you have to cut out all your pieces, and voila, and there are all your pieces you need. I've got no brown plains. What I've used, I have got brown leaves with a green background, so I've used that as the trunk. You can use whatever colour you want, it's your Christmas tree, your quilting block, you do what you want. Anyway, what I have here is white linen as my background squares. These were bought from a charity shop, and they were £1 for 16 white linen table napkins, brand new, never been used. So that's these are scraps left over from another project, and this was I brought as backing fabric for another project from my brother. So that's all we need to get started. So when you finish drawing, if you put them on and then turn them over that way, you can actually work out which way they're supposed to be sewn on, because obviously they've got to go at that angle to make your tree. So they're the ones I need to sew actually onto the fabric, and then the next thing I do is sew these two together next to the trunk. So once you've got your machine set up and you've got your first, that's the top one, you've got two sides to sew. Just put one to one side at the moment, and then you put that on there. So it's right side to right side. Obviously I'm using a white background, which is the same either side. But if you've got a wrong side and a right side, so it's right side to right side. And then if you can just go a needle's width on this side, not this one, this side, of the line, and then sew right down to the corner, and then that'll, when you fold it over and iron it, that'll take in consideration of the fold. That's number one. And then obviously when you fold it that way and press it, that should go across the top and down the bottom and then form a peak. And then we're going to sew it. So we'll do that next. We'll iron and press that first, because I think this has to go over there. So once you've pressed it over, you need to cut off this back section, because that's bulk. Then just 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch away from where your stitch is. There you go, that's that one. And then obviously then that forms, it takes in place of that side, and then you need to put in this side. Again, make sure that when you sew this side, not that side, with a needle's width, just to take in consideration of the fold, because that's bulk. There's no need to go back and forward in each section, because you're going to be sewing these again onto another side. I didn't like that one. Yeah, I didn't like that, so keep trying. And then again we press this. As you can see, once we've pressed, that forms the peak at the top of the tree, and we need to cut this bulk off. Now you do exactly the same thing on all your other greens, all your tree colours, whatever colour you've used, and that's the peak. So there's all my tree sections sewn together at either end, and obviously then once you press them over, then you cut off your bulk at the back. And then I've also done the tree trunk, which is just attaching the two sides to the trunk. Then obviously then you have to fit back all the pieces that go up to make your block. There you go. And obviously there's some more that goes at the top. So if you follow the picture on the pattern, that one and that one doesn't need to have anything else added onto the ends. That's your 1.5 by 2.5. That's your 2.5 by 2.5 both sides, and that's 3.5 by 2.5 both sides. And then it all should, once they're sewn together, so what you do now is sew those and those and those, and then we'll come back. So that's all the units sewn together, going across. They're still all separate at the moment, and then obviously then you press them. With this one, because the green is going, it wants to push it out. I'm not going to force it to go in over, because that will just make bulk. So I'm just going to make it go the way it wants to go and just press it that way. Once you've done all your pressing, and then it's time to join the blocks together. So whichever way, top to bottom, bottom to top, you just work your way and sew them all together as strips together. This is the first top two. I have pinned this because I don't want it to move I don't want the machine to move it while it's going across to stretch it. So, and I will go backwards and forwards at the end. There are no seams to match, so it's just a matter of putting them together and trying not to stretch. Remember, you've got bulk and your seams. There's your first two together. There you go. And I'm going to press that. In fact, I might not press it yet, because pressing it doesn't affect me sewing on the next one, so I'll just get the next one and just sew that on. Again, I should just go from one side to the other. Now, as you can see, my 2.5 inch block has dropped down on that one. So don't follow it, just go to, let the fabric fall where it wants to. It's going to be taken up in the seam, so you're not going to see it. Pin it together, go to the next at the end, that one's straight, and pin that together. Don't stretch anything. The reason mine's a different colour at the back than green is because these are scraps and they've got facing being iron on interfacing. So as you can see, once I've sewn that in, you're not going to see that was over before. Just going to follow the top one, so it's the same all the way across. Sometimes a bit bulky, you might have to help it across. Pull very, very slightly, try not to stretch. Let the bee dogs do their job. you go, that's the third one sewn on. So that's it, all sewn together and pressed. If I show you the back, then you see I just let it fall naturally and pressed it down at the back first, then turned over the front. Be careful not to press too hard in case you don't want to stretch it or move it. Anyway, it should be a 10 inch by 10 inch block. Mine is just over 10 on this side. Just show you up there on this end here, it's just over 10, and it's just over 10 if I put that on the line there. It's just over 10 on this side. So you could straighten it up. In fact, I probably would make it 10 by 10 so it's so it fits. You can see where I've gone wrong. Look, this is why you should always practice these things. It's a 1/4 of an inch on this side, just there, but to get it to be 10 by 10 I've actually chopped that corner off. So it might have been better to continue to sew another corner, or you could have bordered it with like a black or a different colour to make it look as if it's in a frame, because we're only doing this one block, and so you've got to take all these things in consideration. I should still probably I think what we'll do, we'll frame it. So there's my framed one that I finished, and I used the same as what I did for the tree trunk, and then I just measured it across, which we know that was 10 by 10 inches, so 2 10s top and bottom, and then obviously then it's a 14 inch on the two sides, which when put together, taking away the seam allowances, it makes it a 13.5 inch by a 13.5 inch block. We haven't finished because this is going to be a quilting block, and so we're going to the next stage. So as you can see, I've now got my quilt top, and I've used quilt top, batting, and I've used one of the cotton linen tableware that I brought. So basically this has cost me pennies, because I'd already purchased all these things for different other projects, and this is leftover fabric and second-hand brand new linen. So what I'm going to do now is 1/8 of an inch all the way round, just to secure it to the top so it doesn't move. I've decided to make some ribbons with a ribbon maker that I've got. I've never made them before, so I've got to go and look online now to see how I do them. In the meantime, this is a quilt block, and so the next stage before you start decorating your tree is to do some quilting. On the side of my foot I've got a hole, it's like a light, so what I'm going to do is put that on the edge of the tree, just there, and then so that'll make it about 1/8 of an inch or just under 1/4 of an inch that I'm going to on all the outside of my tree all the way around. So I'm keeping the edge of the green and the white where that meets, just the edge, in line inside there, and that way then it should all look the same all the way around. Obviously when you get to the edges, that's a different kettle of fish, and you have to go back past slightly and turn, and I've got to do it again because I haven't gone far enough. So make sure you keep your needle down until I'm going to have to do one more probably. And then I should have in exactly the same place as I wish it to be, to keep it level. And again, when I go into the corner, I have to make sure when I turn, so I might have to go in one more. It's best to do it by hand. Turn your machine by hand. That's it. And then when I go back this way, I know I've got it in the same line. Again, I've got to go past about 3 times from experience. One more probably. Turn. That's it. That's 4 times. And then turn to see if I'm right. Yes. Get to the end. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then hopefully it'll be right. Yes. And 1, and see if it's right. And then you keep going all the way around, exactly the same. But it all depends whether you want to go into your frame. I'm not going to go into my frame. I'm just going to stop just on the edge, and I should start again. So I should back there and forward again. That's it. And then I should go into start on the edge. Pull a bit of fabric out. That's it. Cotton. And put it in the same place. Make sure I'm starting on the edge. Couple of stitches back, and then forward again. Keeping the same distance as again. I should do my tree trunk, it's part of the tree. Turn it round. Now I've gone too far, so what I'm going to do is go back 1. Shouldn't be too noticeable. I won't go into my frame again. I shall stop right on the edge and go back, forward, right, and then push your cotton over to the next bit, which is over this side. Make sure you start at the edge. A bit too far, so it's on the reverse, and then turn my handle forward, and then that puts me right. Now you continue to do that all around your tree. Now I don't know if it's showing up, but actually all I've done is gone around the tree. There you go. I'm not sure if the quilting's all around the edges. Now if you've never quilted anything before, just by doing them simple lines, and you've now put 3 pieces of fabric, that's the backing, wadding and your quilt together with stitches, you've now become a quilter, because that's how you quilt. It's entirely up to you how much you do, how many lines, where you go. You can do cross hatch, you can do all sorts, but I plan to leave it quite plain because I would like to have a go at this and see if I can make some really tiny little bows and put them all over. Well, I raided my stash and my craft, and I made some ribbons with my bow maker, and that's just ordinary white ribbon, and then I put a silver, if I can get in focus, and then I put a silver dot in the middle, and I also put the silver dots which have already got sticky backs on the tree to represent baubles. As you can see, there's the mistake I made in that corner there where I chopped the point off. There you go. If I put that over, you can't even tell it was there. Look, it is only a wall decoration to me. I'm quite happy with that. It's just silver and white add-on. You can do anything you wish. You can leave it plain. You actually can't see any of the quilting, but the quilting isn't there. It isn't fancy quilting. the quilting is there just to hold it all together, and I only went round the outside. I mean, I could go all round the outside there, but I'm quite happy with what I think it's fussy enough. Well, I hope that gives you some ideas. When I show you the finished article, I will have bound the edges, and you can find out how to bind off lots of YouTube tutorials from other people. So I don't think there's any, and I think I've done it once before on my quilts anyway. So that's pretty easy. It's just a bit of machine sewing and then hand sewing if you wish. I prefer to hand sew it after I've machine sewed it on the front, turn it over and then hand sew it on the back. I'm going to get my hot glue gun out and finish these off, and then when I've finished we'll come back. So there you go, it's up on the wall temporarily until I can get a better hanging, but that's where I want it, and that's the little gap I want to fill. That's what I chose to do in the end. I've bound it with the same colour as I had the tree, so that's used all them scraps up, and then I just stuck the bows on, which is what I learnt to do this project. That's a new thing for me, with fabric glue, and there you go. It's a free pattern, and have fun.